So as we look at the whiteboard here, we can see that we have content that I had wrote down based upon a conversation I had with a friend over the phone. And I'm going to explain really quickly what this message was based upon what was on the whiteboard that I'm taking with myself and decide to share. So David, as far as the walk as far as the walk and journey that I'm going through, I have to, and possibly we all have to look at David and look at, I believe in a particular verse, leave the comments, he looked to the hills. David looked to the hills. And also David had a very interesting story where his brothers turned on him. We also got into Moses in regards to Moses' position, but David was a little different in regards to his walk. Some people consider David a goody two-shoes as well. And like David, we all have to walk with intelligence and with intellect. And we always have to focus on being on a whole different plane. Our story, our journey, if possible, we should be able to write a book about it and be able to share that story. Everything that we do, we should be able to write a book. So we're on a whole new plane. We got to make sure we always keep that in mind. We're on a whole new level. We walk with that mindset. Our level of thinking and what we've been blessed with has to always be at its highest standard with verb. And we have to know that, this is a spiritual journey just as much as it is a physical journey. And we must have confidence with humility, with friendliness, to be able to maneuver. When we talk about confidence, we're talking about, friendliness. Confident, but you also want to be engaging. And when we say, but at the same time, you want to be humble. And sometimes to be humble, it requires you to retreat. It requires you to get away and to recharge and figure out your downtime and your release. But in that, always keep in mind that Jesus had haters. And Jesus always said, I'm about my Father's business. I am on a mission. So we should all have that in mind as well. Embrace the fact that you're different and tap into balancing your life. Tap into balancing your family. Tap into balancing your community work. Tap into balancing your career. Tap into balancing your own personal development, your personal time. That's what we have to be on at this time. And always keep in mind that you have it. And the question is, what are you going to do with it? What is it that you have? You have life. You have existence. You have awareness. You have the ability, assuming you do, to take your ideas and put them into action. Not a lot of people that are still existing and alive today have that opportunity based upon mental illnesses, physical illnesses, or whatever have you. And we say those things humbly. So for those that do have it, the awareness and the ability to be a visionary and to walk in what is burning inside you, if it's something that's integral and going to produce and complement the world and humanity and the environment around humanity, you have to know you have it. And the question is, what are you going to do with it? Show your kids, show your family, show your community, show others how it's done. You have to be a radical. Some say, according to this conversation on this whiteboard that I wrote down, Jesus was a radical. And sometimes you have to be radical, and sometimes you have to speak up and tell the truth without yelling and without cursing. Things we have to keep in mind. We got to be okay with knowing that the world will not accept you. Got to be okay with that. But at the same time, you will not be forsaken as you go through your spiritual journey. You have to have that confidence in knowing that you will not be forsaken, while at the same time, you know that you may not be accepted at all times around the world. And know that you are a student to the spiritual journey. You're a student, like a disciple, if you will. You need to walk with that humility. There you go. And when you're walking in that humility, you got to retreat. We talked about it earlier. And we got to find some downtime and release. That's all part of discipleship and students, being a student and training. Also keep in mind that you're a warrior. And even though you maybe have feminine energy, there's times where you have to walk with courageousness. There's a lot of masculine energy jumping out, masculine energy. So you got to know you're a warrior. Like David was a warrior. He was not soft. Yeah, he wasn't a thug, but he wasn't handed anything. He had to use his wit and his emotions and emotional intelligence. And he knew how to, and he was very wise in that regard, but at one point he did let his emotions entrap him. And we cannot have that. You're a king. You're a queen. You have a right to be such. You have a right to think such. You have a right to walk in such. And you have a right to manifest that seed and that manifestation based upon the input in the process. So make sure you're always walking with knowing that you are a king or a queen. And this is the beginning of your story. This is the beginning of your story. And like David was used, so are you. You're going to be used. You're going to help move a people. You're going to help move communities. You're going to help move mountains. And you're going to help supply the faith as small as a mustard seed for others to begin to receive that seed being planted to receive their harvest as well. So, when you're a king or a queen, you're going to be dealing with males and females talking about their challenges all the time. You got to know that that's just how it goes when you're in that position. They're going to be coming to you intentionally, unintentionally. You got to know how to balance that. You got to know how to deal with that. And what David did and what we're going to always continue to do is, one, make sure we always stay focused on our Father's business and to always focus on that so that the hating and all those challenges will be bypassed. And to always make sure that you are a person after the spiritual realm's heart, if you will. And always, if you can, have a child's heart. Always, if you can, have a heart of faith and hope, and that things do always work for good, and that's pretty much how it works. That's the message that we have here. Take that information. Thank you for what you felt this message was worth to you by clicking the donation button, clicking the link, and paying what you felt monetarily, what you felt this message was worth to you. Congrats in advance for your continued success. Thank you for clicking the links to follow, like, and subscribe, and sharing this content, as I wish you a great rest of the day and wish you and your loved ones well. And again, congratulate you for your success.